I think we can all agree that when a fighter is top five, they have a responsibility to uphold their position on the pound for pound list. And what does that mean? What does it mean to uphold their position? It means that they have to constantly prove that they are the best by fighting the very best. Okay. Inoue has been top five for over 5 years, I believe. Um, and he's been getting away with fighting lower level opposition. Some would defend his opposition by claiming that he's fighting mandatories. Okay. Now I want to highlight TJ DeHonis for a second. Okay. TJ DeHonis looks like a zombie. No disrespect to him, but I mean, the fight between Inoue and TJ DeHonis looked weird. TJ DeHonis looked like a fighter that did not belong in the ring at all. He was fragile as you know what. Very fragile. He was an old man, 37 years old. But you had the number two or number one pound for pound fighter fighting that kind of opponent and got a complete pass for that. Right? Years ago, when Errol Spence Jr. won his first world title against Kell Brook, and he defended his IBF belt when he fought Hector Ocampos. The amount of criticism that Errol Spence Jr. has gotten for fighting his mandatory was insane. You see, mandatories did not matter back then when Errol Spence defended his belt against his mandatory. But mandatories matters now when Inoue has been fighting his mandatory. Make it make sense. See, Errol Spence Jr. back in 2016 and 2017 was not even near close to that pound for pound list. But he got criticized for fighting his mandatory. Inoue has been top five for over 5 years, and since he won those titles, that's all what he's been fighting. Mandatories, weak level mandatory. He has a duty, a responsibility to uphold his position on the pound for pound list. He needs to be proven that he is the best. If there's no one in his weight class that on paper can challenge him, he has to go look for challenges, right? Or he's going to fight Junto. Fuck Junto. Junto had to make his way up in weight to bring his name to Inoue. Inoue could be fishing in other seas, looking for challenges, looking for other elite fighters. We hold other fighters to that responsibility, right? Floyd Mayweather couldn't linger around a dead division. Terrence Crawford couldn't linger around a dead division. Dare if those guys ever were to linger around a dead division while sitting high on the pound for pound list, they will be disrespected. Like literally. Devin Haney, you know, this guy, Devin Haney has to make himself available for 2 other weight classes. He has to make himself available for fighters at 140, 147, 154, and possibly 160. Which me as a fan of Devin, I'm cool with that. The more competition, the better for Devin Haney. But you see how people hold Devin Haney to a responsibility that he has to uphold. But when it comes to Inoue, people accept him fighting nothing but mandatories. Not good mandatories, not elite mandatories, but weak mandatories. Inoue had no business fighting TJ DeHonis. But he fought him and he got away with it. Errol Spence, again, when he first won his world title, he had to defend his IBF belt. We know how the IBF gets down. Anyone who wins that IBF belt will be defending that belt against a mandatory immediately. Errol Spence Jr. had to fight Hector Ocampos, and he beat Hector Ocampos, but the criticism came flowing in like a leaking faucet. The criticism came flowing in. The disrespect came flowing in. And that's because he fought his mandatory. Oh, Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford wasn't even a welterweight when Errol Spence was fighting Hector Ocampos. Okay. But Errol Spence Jr. defended his belt against his mandatory and he got disrespected. Inoue has been fighting mandatories since he became undisputed. He hasn't once looked to challenge himself against any elite fighters. And he has to wait on a hype job to bring his name to him. Instead of him going out seeking for greater challenges to prove that he's the best, he's been lingering around a dead weight division. And you guys are okay with that and you accept that. This is why Inoue can never be the number one pound for pound fighter. That's because he's not challenging other elite fighters to prove that he's the number one pound for pound fighter. You know who proved that they are the number one pound for pound fighter? By making a pound for pound move? Terrence Crawford, Alexander Usyk, Devin Haney, Shakur Stevenson. They proved that they are the best by jumping up in weight and beating the very best. And I'm not talking about fighters who are celebrated. Oh, John, Inoue jumped up and beat Fulton. Stephen Fulton was celebrated by fans. He was never viewed as the very best in boxing. He was viewed as the very best in his weight class. Teofimo Lopez was viewed as the very best by the rankings. Anthony Joshua, the very best by the rankings. Canelo Alvarez, there's no need to even mention his name, but you get my point. Devin Haney, this guy's moving up in weight, taking on the very best. Wasn't even a favor when he fought Brian Norman Jr. He was actually the underdog. So Brian Norman Jr. was considered the best fighter when Devin Haney moved up and challenged him. This is how pound for pound fighters move. When fighters want to be the best, they got to go out and seek to fight the very best. They don't linger around a dead division waiting on hype jobs to bring their names to them. Like what Golovkin did his whole career. Wasted his whole career fighting bums. Waiting on Canelo Alvarez, wasting his primes fighting bums. And it didn't work out for him.